So now onto the floors. I bought 4-inch wide maple pre-finished hardwood from Somerset. I bought it off of Wood Woody in North Carolina. I paid $3,000 for 2 rooms worth of wood, about 650 square feet. So you can see this wood, it's beautiful. Most of the wood is in the 30 to 50 inch range, but there's a reasonable distribution of wood. Okay, so I bought some a vapor barrier. The vapor barrier has the vapor barrier on top, but it also has a styrofoam base that tries to allow moisture to spread and dissipate before it gets near the floor, and adds a little bit of padding. So here I am laying it out, and I've already laid one roll out, and there's a 4-inch overlap piece of plastic. I just staple it down with a staple gun. I didn't go overboard with the stapling, and I found it didn't really matter. Once the wood is on top of it, it holds it down pretty nicely. So I bought a Dewalt brad nailer. This is not the main floor nailer, but when you're up against the wall like this, if I'm nailing down the first row of wood, you can't get a standard floor nailer in there, so you just get your wood up against the wall. Notice I've got spacers to keep it 1/4 to a 1/2 inch away from the wall. I just nail it down with the brads. I have a rubber mallet. Use the rubber mallet to whack the wood around. So here's my floor nailer, New Max. Works great. One of the cheaper ones out there. Bought it off Amazon. So now that I'm far enough away from the wall, I can use the floor nailer. So you're going to use the rubber mallet a lot. It's a pretty tedious process getting the wood set, and by far more time is spent getting the wood into place with the mallet than it is with the nailing. The good thing about these nailers is because you can hit them pretty hard, and it tends to, if there's a small gap between the boards, the floor nailer will tend to fill those gaps, but it can only do so much. So you have to do your best to get the wood aligned, hit it with your rubber mallet, so that it's in pretty good shape. And you just tack it down. So I've got a compressor off the screen, obviously. About $100 Craftsman compressor. Works great. I can't recommend these enough. Okay, so sometimes the nail doesn't go all the way through. This obviously you can't put another board in until you get rid of it. I don't recommend trying to pull them out. I just cut them with a oscillating saw, just like that. And actually that little thing below where the nailer broke the wood below it, and you can also use the oscillating saw to trim those off too, so the boards fit. So here I am, getting close to being finished, and I can't get my floor nailer in any closer to the wall for the last few rows. So I've got to hit it in place and then use the Dewalt nailer. And it's hard to fill gaps with that little nailer because you're not hitting it like with a normal floor nailer. So here's the last piece. Just whacking it into place. And see, I've got that metal rod, which is a puller. When you get up against the wall, you need to use that to pull the boards together. So if you just buy any $15 flooring kit it'll have the spacers, it'll have the pull bar. I don't show what I did here. I paid $15 off of Amazon, so I'm using the pull bar to you can see, pull it towards me, and just face nailing the last row in place. All right, so we're all done with laying that floor, and here's what it looks like. I think it looks beautiful. Huge improvement over green plush carpet. We still have to do a bunch of finish work. I can put the trim back in place, but pretty happy with this project so far. I'll just zoom into you can see with the pre-finished floors, they have a little micro bevel in between them, but looks pretty nice.